Okay, so let's extend the capabilities of MakeNote. I'm going to get rid of the extra objects over here so we can just focus on making notes. And what we're going to do next, make some space. We're going to use a metro object. Metro object, short for metronome. So all these objects have mnemonic or names that should give you a clue about what they do. Like MakeNote makes a MIDI note, makes the on and off messages for a MIDI note. Metro is short for metronome. Metronome sends a click at a regular timed interval. In Max, Metro sends a bang message at a regular timed interval, let's say 1,000 milliseconds. Let's not do that. Let's put the bang down here so you can see it. I'm going to add a print metro so you can also see it show up. Bang's going to go to our MIDI pitch or note number. Going to adjust the duration to just a little bit less than 1,000. And picking up on one thing that we saw here, I'm going to lock this, 900. When I send messages to an object that changes their arguments, the arguments do not change in the patch, but the values have changed according to their input. So 900 is now the duration, not 1,000, 900 milliseconds. So I need to be able to start and stop the metronome. I can do that with messages. Say a message that sends out a 1, because 1, any non-zero number will start the metronome. 0 will stop it, and so I use 1 and 0 for on and off. It's another message for 0. And lock the patch and should be able to click on 1. And you're getting the notes going on. 0 to stop. And so if you look back here into the console, Metro sent out a bang. Then the note with the velocity and the pitch, velocity and the pitch. Metro sings out another bang. The note with velocity and pitch, and so on. Let's clear this a little bit. Okay. And so that works. And that's easy, but I have to click on two separate things to start and stop it. When there is an object that will do this for me, it's called a toggle. I'll leave that here. Toggle has the X, or you can put your mouse cursor on the blank and type a T. And I'm going to show you by hooking up a number box, an integer number box. What it's doing is the same thing as me typing on the message. So if I click it on, I have the X, and the number box is showing 1. Off, it's 0. Okay. And so I can see, I don't need the number box, really, to know what's going on, because toggle shows me if it is an X, it's on. It's a 1. And if it's not an X, it's 0. It's off. So this is a user interface element or object like the button. It's specifically there for interaction with the program. I mean, it can be automated and there's other ways to control it, but this is helpful for now. I'm going to move these numbers back just to leave them so you can see same thing going on here. I'll put the number back. These two things over. And now I want to do some of the automation that you can have since you're using a programming language. I shortened up the duration of the make note. Now I can also control the speed of the metro by sending a number into its right inlet. So let's do that. And I'm going to use segmented patch chords and click to make segments. And put that over here. Okay. Now, it's going at 1,000. I can speed this up to 500. Or now you see it's having little problems with duration, and that's because the MIDI instrument's not that smart. It gets a note off for a note that's on, and it's turning the current. It's getting a note off for a note that was already on. New notes happen. It's turning them both off. So let's stop. Let's control this a little bit. Let's say I want to take whatever my metronome duration is, and I want to play half the value on and half the value off, like a staccato note. Okay. I can do a little bit of math. So let's have a divide object and divide the duration by 2 of the metro, divide the time by 2 of the metro to get the duration. So now I'm going to set up the duration again so that it's 400. See, my duration is now 200 milliseconds, and when I start, getting a staccato. Change duration. Oops, that's too long. And we need to stop. So the reason I stopped it is the metro updates to a new value on the next bang. So if I change the tempo to 10,000 milliseconds or 10 seconds, it's going to not let me change the tempo again until, or it's not going to effectively change the tempo again until 10 seconds have passed and a new bang comes out. So I meant to type in 1,000. And if I do a drag on the number box, duration is going to keep up. Okay, so that's really great. Lets me play notes. I've got an automated duration control that's tied into the metronome. Now let's look at how I could change the note. And this is always, I can change the note here. And in here, every time I change the number box, it sends out more notes. The bang for the metro sends out notes. That's okay. We're going to talk about how to do that in another, how to control that in another patch. But let's get some MIDI keyboard control so I can change this repeating note structure. Let's have a note in. And let's take that. Let's see it. Just the pitch. And let's send that to the number. So now, let's go back to 500. If I play something on the keyboard, now again, you're hearing it every time I put a new note on, you're getting an extra note in between the metro bangs, and when I release the key, when I let it go. So I can fix that. I really, in this case, I only want the note ons if I'm going to set the pitch. And there's a handy object called strip note. Strip note looks for MIDI notes. It needs the pitch and the velocity. This is another common mistake, not cooking the velocity up to strip note. If it gets a note on, a non-zero velocity, it passes the pitch and the velocity. I just need the pitch. So now, if I turn the metro back on, you're just going to hear one extra note when I hit a key. Okay, so we've got automation. We can turn the metronome on and off. We can change the speed of the metronome, cut that in half to be the duration of the make note. We can get pitches in from the keyboard that change the pitch of the make note. So it's playing notes at a regular interval, whatever pitch I type in the keyboard. It's playing staccato notes from whatever duration. So that's a pretty effective thing. Next thing I'm going to talk about is adding some randomness and not having that extra keyboard note jump in. So that'll be next.